So no build is right really until you've got a decent set of brakes, is it? So I've gone ahead and sort of bought these some, what's it called, Piranha brakes on eBay, following some Facebook research. To be honest, I was looking around for ages, but it got to the point where I just needed to order a set, and I ended up going for these for a couple of reasons. One, because the discs are kind of black, and that's meant to stop the kind of rusted look once you've been driving for a little bit or what have you. I was going to go for the drilled ones, but then I decided against that because I wanted to go for dimpled, mainly for the aesthetics. I'm not really going to be tracking this car. Yeah, just I thought let's give these a go. I did want to get Frodo pants, but these were just what came with the set, so right, I'll get these for now and we'll see how we get along with this and go from there. So yeah, I'm going to see how this lasts performance wise and brake dust. That's my two main things, just decent bit of braking and minimal brake dust. So yeah, I'm going to see how we get along with this, and obviously cost is an important factor as well, especially when you just spent a shit out restoring the car and you don't know if it's going to pass the MOT. So yeah, let's take a look. Right, so I believe these are, I think these are the fronts. Yeah, that'd be the front, and these would be the rears, because the drum's a bit bigger on these, and that's where the shoes will go and sit, I guess. Front brake pads, I did get told these would be alright as well. Mintex ain't too bad, somebody already had them apparently. If they're shit, just have to get a different set, but yeah. Right, so I'm going to start putting these on, and we'll see how we get along. So I just thought I might as well just make a full how-to video on this. It's only just clicked in my head, to be honest. If you're doing it first time, it might help. So taking the wheel off, obviously loosen that while the car is still sort of on the ground. If you have lifted the car up, you can put your foot on the brake or have a bar kind of holding the brake pedal down. Then you can loosen the wheel nuts using that, because the wheel's obviously going to be not going to spin. As soon as you take the wheel off, well, this is what I do anyway, I take this little, I think is a number 6 Allen key bolt out, and then here's a little nifty little trick that I do to push the caliper back. This will only work on the normal kind of calipers, the pushback calipers. If it's one of the kind of twist and turn back ones, then this won't work. But I just stick a screwdriver in here, put it in there like that, and then just slowly want to bring the screwdriver like this back. It's much easier doing it that way than having to push back the caliper. This side you've obviously got a wear indicator on, yeah, so be careful with that. And then now that the calipers basically all push back, these little caps are the back, which you can see I've still got one of my bits in there. Take those two caps off, and then you can go ahead, loosen up these number 7 Allen key kind of bolts. There's one there, there's one just in here, which is already out. Take those out, and then the caliper comes off, and then you've got these bolts just here. They're number 16 mils, I believe it was. And then the carrier comes off. At this point, I've also already in these holes, 2 or 3 of them, I've sprayed some brake cleaner in there, so I can start loosening it, so it loosens up the dirt. Yeah, there's a bit of a sneak peek as to what they look like, obviously minus the rusty bits. Yeah, just, in all honesty, I was just measuring up the disc, which is another thing you want to make sure you do. So yeah, I was quite sure they'd be the right size, but I just wanted to make sure. Measured up the pads as well. Now, there's obviously brake shoes inside this, which I'm going to be replacing as well. But there's one thing, well, I don't know, I've always done it, but I think most people don't know this. But to adjust the handbrake on these, I'll show you now. Normally you have a like a nut and bolt mechanism inside by the handbrake. And these is like a little spring thing in there. Where is it? I've pushed it back so you might not be able to see it from there. Oh, I don't want to move this because it'll come straight back out. Right, I don't know if you can see, but yeah. So that little spring thing there, how you can see is that little, it's got a little kind of pin locking it in place. So there's a little tab there that you've got to push the spring back, stick a screwdriver in there or something, push this back, and then you've got to use that pin to lock it in place. It can take some effort as well, so make sure you've got something strong enough to push it back with. And then when you're doing the handbrake, so when you finally get the disc off, or how you'd get it off to start with, is you'd line up this sort of hole over here, put the screwdriver through it, and this is the passenger side, obviously for the UK. So on this side, what you want to do is push this in. So you're going to pry it in. Well, you won't have enough space to be able to probably even do that. So what you want to do from here is just push it. You'll be able to do a notch at a time. And I don't know if you can tell, but the gap is actually getting smaller. And this basically is threading in, and that pulls in the brake shoes, and then you should just be able to pull your disc off. I still had to use a hammer though, so yeah, be prepared for that. But on the driver's side, it's the other way around, obviously, because yeah, it's going to be the opposite side. So you want to push it up, and yeah, you'll be able to get the knobby to loosen it, and then it's the opposite direction for whichever side you're on to be able to tighten it back. And you want to take the handbrake to about 2 clicks. So right, I didn't actually end up changing my brake shoes because I checked them, and the new ones I've got have literally got the same amount of meat on them as the old ones. So I guess we'll leave those for another day, maybe on the next pad. But to check this, you can see the disc is just catching on to the shoes, and the hub's not spinning. Once the hub starts spinning, that's where you know is kind of basically gripped on. So this is about right for me. And what I'm going to do is probably just give it another notch to open it up. Yeah, that's about right. We'll line it up with all the holes. Make sure this one's obviously lined up to get that back in. There we go. That's how they look fitted. That's the front. Wheels need a bit of a refurb, but there's the rears. black stuff will last long, but yeah. The only downside to this kit was the Allen head bolts that hold the disc in. Didn't get new ones of those. But yeah, otherwise, there's my old ones. Yeah, job's a good one. So here's one of the things I wanted to check. We've done about, I'd say, about 1,000 miles on the brakes. You can see in the dimples there's some dirt kind of in the grooves there. You can see some, I don't know, something's filling that hole anyway. I don't really want to get my hands dirty right now. And then the wheels themselves got quite a bit of brake dust on them, you can see down there. And this was last cleaned about a week and a half ago, so that's about how much brake dust you can expect. Doesn't really help much, but that was one of the things that I wanted to check. That's the fronts. Here's the back. Wipe some of the dirt off there so you can see the kind of difference that you get. So yeah, it needs a bit of a clean. Yeah, that's a set of these pads and discs for you. So yeah, I hope that helps if anybody is looking to get one of these.